Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, back with some boxing talk here. Now, I've been hearing this a lot over a lot of boxing channels lately. You know, even some boxing websites. A lot of people have been talking about this situation. Like, I don't know if it's still been like full on solidified, but everybody's been hearing that Manny Pacquiao, of course, he is the WBA champion in the welterweight division right now. But I've talked about this in a previous video because this is pretty much facts, because he actually spoke on this in an interview. But, you know, Manny Pacquiao said he wanted to take on Conor McGregor as his next fight instead of Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, you know, because he wanted to fight an MMA fighter. But as far as like the situation with his belt, you know, I've been hearing other videos and other reporters around saying that Manny Pacquiao could possibly be stripped of the WBA belt due to inactivity, and because he's choosing to fight Conor McGregor instead, which I don't know if it would actually be a title defense or if that belt would be up on the line, or if he just went to fight a non-title fight with Conor McGregor, you know, that would hold the belt up. So I don't know if they're just kind of looking at it that way and they're saying, oh, you're holding the belt up too long, we're going to strip it from you. But it is something similar to something I had talked about in a video prior to that news. You know, I had already said that, you know, okay, Manny Pacquiao in an interview talked about fighting Conor McGregor instead of Spence and Crawford. Well, my thoughts still don't change. You know, I feel like if the WBA does decide to strip Manny Pacquiao at this point, you know, due to almost 2 years of inactivity, I would be fine with that. You know, if he wants to fight Conor McGregor, I'm fine with that. You know, but the side news that would really make some good news to me for the boxing fans, you know, not even just talking about money here, but a good fight that I would like to see is that if Manny Pacquiao was stripped of his belt, which is the WBA super belt, it would go straight to the WBA regular champion, which is Dennis Ugas. And if that happened, from what I've been hearing, I like that news. I would really like that to happen, because first off, it would go to somebody who is going to be active with the belt at this point. You know, Ugas still has something to prove. And then it would be killing two birds with one stone. You know, well, two belts with one stone, right? Because we would have that regular and super just unified again, and then we would just have one WBA belt running around, you know, and it would only be in one hands, which would be Ugas. So if that happened, we would be like one step closer to another unification fight and one step closer to undisputed. So we know that if Dennis Ugas became that champion that Manny Pacquiao was, then more than likely Errol Spence, he would try to go for that belt then, you know, because then that fight would make sense. Because as y'all know, Ugas, he's been calling Errol out, but in the meantime, Errol's just saying, you know, he wants the bigger fights that mean something, you know, the guys with belts and the guys that have names, which I can't argue with that. But if Ugas was put in the position to have that belt after Manny Pacquiao was vacated, then yeah, Ugas would make more sense then, because he would have something that Errol needs to become undisputed. So then that fight would make sense. So if Manny Pacquiao was to be stripped of the belt, I would be cool with that. But like I said, I still don't know if that would be true, because there's just so many political things and money things there involved with Manny Pacquiao holding the belt. You know, him having the belt, whether he's fighting or not, still means a lot of money for them, because people forget about sanctioning fees too. So even if he was holding on to the belt, I think that's still going to generate money for them. And then when he fights, one big fight will generate more than, you know, Errol Spence versus Ugas fight, you know. But I mean, for the hardcore fans, if they were to go by the hardcore fans' wishes and just strip Manny of the belt, that would be fine with me. Because again, I'm into watching this welterweight division, not just for like superstar fights. I want to see the more meaningful fights between great champions, you know. And great champions and good boxers doesn't necessarily mean, you know, we're talking superstar all the time, you know. Not saying that Manny Pacquiao is not a, you know, good boxer or a great fighter now, but he is. But he's 42 years old now, and his competitive nature is there, but there's also other things on his mind. You know, it's time for cash grabs. It's time to get those big fights for an end game, you know, to get the big bags and get out. That's kind of where he's at. Whereas guys like Ugas, 34, Errol Spence, 30, they're still in it to prove themselves. You know, they want to be Hall of Famers one day. They want to have resumes like Manny one day. So they need those fights with the belts. They need to fight those guys that are champions, you know. So let the belt be vacated. give it to Ugas. That is a good theory. That is a good idea if that happens. Like I said, I'm not sure if that is what's really going to happen yet, if that is solidified. But let me know in the comment section what y'all think of that situation. You know, would y'all like to see that? You know, if Manny wants to fight Conor McGregor in June or July, you know, Conor actually spoke out about the fight. He said he's looking for that fight. And there were some other rumors that the WBC was actually making a belt or going to have a title on the line for Conor versus Manny. So if that was the case, then they don't need to let this fight be for a WBA belt or let Manny hold on to the WBA belt if they're going to make a special title for Conor and Manny. You know what I mean? So just let that title go and let Conor and Manny fight whatever entertainment title they're going to fight for at this point. You know, so that just seems like the more logical thing for me. I mean, when you stop looking at the money and letting Manny hold this belt, and you want to be more logical and want to make sure the division is pushed in the right way, then you would say, let this belt go and let Ugas and Spence fight for it, you know, and cut the WBA back down to one belt. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, guys. Like I said, just want to go back and do some boxing discussion here. Again, it's no solidified fight between these three. You know, this ain't the UFC, so you're not going to have an actual solidified fight within a 2 or 3 months or a year. So yeah, it's just all talk right now. But that's just the boxing theory I'm looking at. Like, if Manny is going to be stripped, give it to Ugas, and then let Errol Spence and Ugas, you know, get one step closer to undisputed at this point. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.